Welcome back, viewers and subscribers. In this video, we're going to talk about critics believing that President Joe Biden should resign with immediate effect so as to make Kamala Harris, the current vice president, the new president of the United States, and as such, she would become the first female and the 47th president, so has to ruin Donald Trump's, plans of being named the 47th president of the United States. People believe that Joe Biden should do this to rain on Donald Trump's parade. Let's talk about it, right? Because I came across this discussion on TikTok and I decided that I want to talk about it too, because I believe that this will be a monumental moment, providing that Joe Biden is willing to take this step. We would see where Kamala Harris becomes the first female president before Donald Trump potentially takes office. But the question is it possible? Is it a clause? Is there a clause that supports this? And the answer is yes. No. In the United States, presidential succession is governed by Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution and Presidential Succession Act of 1947. So, if President Biden were to resign, Vice President Kamala Harris would definitely become the president as specified in the 25th Amendment. No, such move can definitely cause a lot of conflict, because if President Biden resigns solely to prevent Donald Trump from taking office, because this can also prevent Donald Trump from taking office, because if President Joe Biden says that he believes that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy, there's also a clause around that. So, if President Biden resigns to prevent Donald Trump from taking office, it could be seen as a unconventional and potentially destabilizing transfer of power. But it is not really unconstitutional. It can definitely happen. Now, how would this work? What is the process of this succession? Well, President Biden would need to formally resign from office. The vice president and congressional leader would be notified, and Vice President Kamala Harris would take the oath of office and become the president of the United States. Now, while this scenario is theoretically possible, it is essential also to consider that President Joe Biden's resignation would not necessarily prevent Donald Trump from winning the presidential election, or taking office come January 2025. No. From history perspective, there's a precedence for vice presidents assuming presidency due to resignation or incapacitation, right? So, as seen with Gerald Ford and Nelson Rockefeller in 1974. However, the circumstances surrounding such a transition would be highly unusual. And again, it can potentially cause contentions, because we know that Donald Trump would not sit and take a move like this. So it can cause an upstir, but it can definitely work. Now, this move may seem as unconstitutional to many, but it's not. I have done my research. The only thing that is needed is for President Joe Biden to resign, and it should be, under the clause of a president's resignation. Therefore, it should be legal, and it depends on the context and his motivation behind it. But he doesn't have to make his motivation clear, because already we have been hearing he's not well in all of that. right? So the Constitution and the relevant laws would need to be carefully considered. It has to be strategic, but it can be done, and it can be done in a smooth and legitimate way. But it can definitely cause a major upstart, but it doesn't mean that the move would be unconstitutional. Okay? I've taken the time, I've done my research, and it can definitely work. Now, guys, it is your time to chime in. Let me know what are your thoughts. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up, share if you care, stay safe, and see you guys later. Bye, guys.